So yeah, I'm scrolling through my timeline, and Van Diesel is getting sued by some woman that used to work for him. She says, yeah, he was in a hotel room with a whole bunch of women. And then after all the beautiful women left the room, then he called her in there and he groped her and did this, that, and the other. And she fought him off. And, uh, she was disgusted and humiliated. And then later on in her lawsuit, she talked about how some other person on his team afterwards, uh, not that same day, but later on in time, sexually assaulted her or harassed her or something like that. So she had a couple of encounters of sexual assault, and my question is like, why do they stay around? Why do these some of these women who experience these things, they don't go nowhere. They stay there. Diddy and the Diddy and Cassie, the Cassie lawsuit, kind of the one that set this whole uh, thing on the roll. They were together for a long time, right? They were together for like a couple of years. I don't know, a couple of years. It might have been even more than that. And the allegations that she said, "Oh, he did this to me, he did that to me, he made me do this," and all of this was over a long period of time. He fed me drugs, he turned me into a drug addict, and so on and so on. But you know, I'm not saying that these things don't happen, and I'm sure that women get in positions where they have no other choice but to do things that they don't want to do for their survival. I get it. I understand that. This world that we live in is not a great place. But in the Cassie lawsuit, there's no way there's nowhere in that lawsuit where it says she was handcuffed to the bed and couldn't walk out the door, or she had a ball and chain on her ankle and couldn't just leave the situation. She had plenty of uh she had plenty of time to just go. Why stay after the first sexual whatever happens to you? Like, why do you stay around? Why do you hang around? Because if you don't like something, or if you don't like the way you're treated, the door is open. You can always walk away. And if you're sexually assaulted, call the cops. If someone commits a crime and you're the victim of a crime, call the police. Why do they stay around? Why do they never call the police? Could it be that deceptive intelligence kicks in? What is deceptive intelligence? Deceptive intelligence is you in your own mind rationalizing wrongdoing. For instance, you and Cassie and Diddy, they have this encounter, and Cassie didn't like that too much. Bothered her. She said, "Nah, I don't like this. I don't want to deal with this." The door is open. But then that deceptive intelligence kicked in and says, "Well, if I leave right now, I'm not going to be able to get those $500 and $600 and $700 a weaves 2 and 3 times a week, and I'm not going to be able to have a private driver drive me to the Gucci store, to buy me Gucci shoes, and if I leave right now, I mean, goddamn, the Met Gala is next week. And there's this Versace dress that I need to get, or this gown made by Anna Louise or Anna Sui or Fendi or whatever. I'm not gonna be able to do that. Is it because that you hang around and you say, well, I could just put up with this. It's not that bad. Because hell, who wants to give up this kind of lifestyle? So if you stick around for the money and the fame and all of that comes with it, well, then is it a crime if you tolerate that? You make a deal with the devil, just like a lot of them people in Hollywood, that, you'll just accept this because the money and the fame and the fortune and the glitz and the glamour that comes with it, you just don't want to give that up. What you got to deal with is worth it. Why else would you stay? Why wouldn't you just call the cops? Because, if you're sexual, like for somebody to sexually assault you, I could really imagine that's a horrible, horrible thing to happen to anybody. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But if it happens to somebody, why wouldn't you call the police? Why wouldn't Cassie call the police? Or why would this woman that was sexually assaulted by Van Diesel, why wouldn't she just call the police? Could it be because if you called the police, they would actually do an investigation? And then that way they'll really know whether it's true or not if they did an investigation. But you didn't really want to go down that route then or now. You wasn't trying to go the police route. You were trying to get the bag. Because why wouldn't you call the police when it happened? If this happened to you, it just makes sense. And you can say, yeah, well, I was ashamed. You were ashamed of what? If someone forced themselves on you, why would you be ashamed? Unless you were doing something and put yourself in a situation that you don't want to talk about. Why you were there in the first place and what were you doing there in the first place. And this is just me talking. You know what I mean? This is not me saying nothing bad about anybody or making anybody look bad, but it's a question to ask. These are the kind of questions that's going to come up in the courtroom, because if you're going to ruin a man's life and take all his money, you have to answer these questions, right? This is so-called America, where you're guilty until proven innocent. Innocent until proven guilty, right? That's how the law works. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Am I the only one that thinks like this? Or it's a hot topic and don't nobody want to get canceled or nothing like that? See, I'm not a big person right now, and I'm not all that famous, so I can't get canceled yet. Or maybe I can. Maybe if this video goes viral, I'll get canceled. But anyway, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.